Hello, welcome to another edition of Electric Avenue's weekly update. I'm in a different corner today. Thought I'd switch it up a little bit. Um, what's going on? Hey, Record Store Day is coming. We're into April now, April 1st, Friday, April 2022. So April 23rd is Record Store Day 2022. Um, Check the lists if you haven't. Make your plans. It's going to be a big one. I don't know. I'm still kind of torn about this one day thing. It seemed to be working out actually okay as like two or three. Three was a lot, but definitely two seemed to work out better, I think, and sort of financially for people too. So I don't know. It's I feel like Record Store Day sort of crossed the Rubicon in a way with all of these pandemic changes, and now it's like they're trying to shoehorn it back into what it was. And I'm not so sure that it's the benefit to the stores to do that. And isn't that sort of what Record Store Day is kind of about? As sort of like a certain unnamed celebrity slapping someone on stage at an awards ceremony. You can't go back from that. Once you've crossed into that, you're defined as a different kind of person. So, enough said on that topic. I'm not going to get into my philosophies on that here. So let me just run down this week's new stuff, and hopefully you'll see something here that intrigues you, or maybe you won't, and that's okay. There's always more releases. You see behind me, I still have a wall of CDs. Some people say, "Oh, do you guys sell CDs?" We actually do. I know that some people, there have been a lot of articles saying CDs are making this miraculous comeback. They're sort of where they were 2 years ago for me. They haven't really changed all that much. People who don't have players in their cars anymore might be a little bit more of a market that we might have lost along the way, but then maybe other people who can't afford records and want to get into some kind of physical medium choose that. So, but obviously, records. Yeah. So, the big release this week, and it is big, in my opinion, is Red Hot Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love. This is their first album with John Frusciante back in the band after 16 years. I think, from what I've heard, it seems like an album that will at least please the older fans who like his sound with them. It just sort of proves that you can't necessarily change out band members and just kind of go on as if nothing has changed. And he's so integral to their sound ever since the early 90s that this is kind of a big deal. And it's a pretty good record, what I hear. So, and the reviews are good too. This is the indie version. It's an actual gatefold record, and it comes with a poster, which we have a slightly cheaper version that's just a regular one, and it does not have those things. So there's also a CD. I believe that there's a cassette, but I have not seen that come in yet. So, okay. Two more Blue Note Tone Poets show up this week. We've got Sunny Red, Out of the Blue. And the other one is Jackie McLean, Tippin' the Scales. And the Jackie McLean features Sonny Clark, Butch Warren, and Art Taylor, which sounds fantastic. And the Sunny Red has Wynton Kelly on piano, Sam Jones, and Paul Chambers is on bass on a couple of tracks, Roy Brooks and Jimmy Cobb on drums. So I don't know. I think that Blue Note's been doing a really good job with curating their catalog, And whether it's in the Tone Poet series or the classic series, it's been phenomenal work, and hopefully they keep it up. It looks like it's doing very well, so I don't think it's going anywhere. Ironically, some of those are my biggest sellers from week to week. So I feel like maybe it's just me, but there's a lot of people out there who they rush to the internet to, if it's either the artist site or Amazon or something like that, and do all their pre-orders that way. And I suppose, if you're like super obsessed and you absolutely have to be guaranteed of that, but frankly, we get most of that stuff anyway. And, I feel like many times it's just sort of putting the earnings in the pockets of the people, the big wigs, at the head of things, and doesn't really hit like the independent record store people like me. So I don't know. It's something to consider. I suppose if you have questions about whether or not these things are going to be carried by us, send us an email, send us a message, something like that. Call, landline, whatever it takes. I mean, most of the time me or whoever, I mean, me right now, but we'll be able to give you an answer as to what we can do about that. And we usually have information about dates and things like that too. The reason I say this is like today, even I was speaking with people about ordering direct from the artist's official website or their official store, and I kind of was like, don't do that. And part of the reason is, for the benefit of the mom and pop store, but the other is not to be negative about this stuff. But I had an experience where I had purchased something and it was defective and it was no longer in print. And by the time I got around to listening to it, and I tried to go through the official stores and they couldn't do anything for me. And you'd think that if it was the artist's product that they'd be able to back that up. But it doesn't always work that way, because a lot of times official store just means we've licensed out the name to carry on that person's legacy, whether they've died or if it's something that they have a contract. And it doesn't really mean like they're representing the artist necessarily. They might be in name, but they've bought the rights to use the name. So, and that's not always the case, but it is the case sometimes with especially deceased people who are like, they have like a family sort of involved or some kind of a estate, Anyway, just keep those things in mind. Plus, that way you don't have to pay a lot of shipping sometimes. I mean, we kind of like, we can get a lot of things shipped all at once, so it kind of it knocks down some of those prices. Usually, I'm not going to say, hey, we're always the cheapest, because, I mean, when you got Amazon or something. Now, if you've ever ordered from Amazon, you see how they deliver stuff sometimes. I mean, I've had a couple things in the last year that I couldn't get anywhere else, and I got from them, and they were all bent up when they came, and I'm not surprised. Or they were wrapped in like a plastic bag that had no packing around it. I mean, you get what you pay for. All right, back to new releases. Other big reissues this week: Roxy Music, the first record, and For Your Pleasure, the second one. These both featured Brian Eno. He was in the band at the time. And these are half-speed masters cut from the original quarter-inch tapes at Abbey Road Studios. And they're probably the best-sounding reissues of those that you're going to find. All right, I know he's sort of a mixed bag with some people now, but Eric Clapton, the Lockdown Sessions, finally makes it to vinyl. 16 acoustic performances of recent and classic tracks with Nathan East, Steve Gadd, and Chris Stainton. It's on yellow vinyl, translucent. Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to get into all his personal stuff. Another person who did lockdown sessions, Elton John. Now, you're like, wait a second, I thought this album came out last fall. Well, it did on CD, and in the US, the only way you could get it was as an import or probably through his official store. There might have been some kind of like exclusive, I don't know, Target, Walmart, maybe. But this is the first time that the indie store officially carries it at a reasonable price. If you think like 40 some dollars is reasonable, I mean, it's more reasonable than the $60 import. All right. So it's a double record. It's the one that has fantastic duet with Stevie Wonder. I mean, Stevie comes on with his harmonica and it just blows you away and makes you feel great. And you know, he's got other songs on here with Eddie Vedder, Stevie Nicks, Glenn Campbell. Then there's like Little Nas X. Some tracks he only plays piano, doesn't sing. But anyway, I'm sure most of you already checked that out. This is just another reissue in the series of RSD Essentials. Alabama Shakes, and it's Boys and Girls, the album. It's a white cover instead of black, which is cool, and it's a marbly vinyl down there. And while I'm on that topic, I didn't go far. These two also, M83, are RSD Essentials, and they're numbering them in the series. This one is Blue and Pink Marble, Hurry Up and Dreaming. You can kind of see that there. And then Saturdays Equals Youth, which is my favorite of theirs because I'm an 80s kid and this is an 80s record. And that one is on kind of an orangey flame vinyl. So these are super limited. They won't be around for long. It was one pressing. Get them while you want to get them or can get them because they won't be around long. Girl in Red. This has been out for a while, but this is a new black and red pressing. They keep doing lots of sort of special colors now to get you to keep coming back for stuff. Well, this is a surprise. Cro-Mags. This album, Age of Quarrel, was a record store day piece last year. It was on the list, then it was taken off. It was sort of released as an unofficial kind of release. Some people had it, some didn't. It was crazy to find. I don't know. This is got the Profile Records label on it, so now whether or not Profile Records asked them to do this, I'm not really sure. But again, this is probably going to be really hard to find, not out there for very long. These, yeah, they go fast. Let's see, The Outfield, Play Deep. This is their popular record, I think, most popular. 1985. It's the one with Your Love, Say It Isn't So, and All the Love. And it's on blue vinyl, translucent. They only made 1,500 of them. Let's see. Ian No. It's kind of a Sturgill Simpson-y type of artist. In some ways, I kind of like him almost better. Don't hate me, Sturgill fans. He worked on this one with people who've worked with Alabama Shakes and Jason Isbell. And he's kind of he's a singer-songwriter, but I think he really does a good job at trying to get at, like, what sort of life is like for real people having real problems in poorer parts of the country. Yeah, I think it's good. He's trying to stay in touch. The rest of the things I have here are CDs. This record is supposed to be showing up very shortly. It's the unraveling of Pup the Band. Pup is the band. Beirut Artifacts, which is kind of older tracks that I guess he sort of curating. It's not necessarily a new album. It says collected EPs, B-sides. A new album from Molly Tuttle. Believe that she's in Well, let's see. She won Instrumentalist of the Year at the 2018 Americana Music Awards. Um, this features Billy Strings, Margot Price, Old Crow, Gillian Welch. Yeah. So, I mean, you might want to check that out if you're into Americana. I'm trying to remember what band she was in. Is it Lumineers? I can't remember. Maybe someone out there in the comments can let me know. Thomas Rhett, his latest CD, Where We Started, country guy. Skipping over to metal, Meshuggah. I think that's how you say that. I never feel like I'm saying it right. Meshuggah. Been around for a while. Metal band. Reissue for Testament. This one is called The Formation of Damnation. Formation of Damnation. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was saying that right, too. It's been a long day. I'm doing this video at night. I don't usually do these at night, but some of these things did not get here by this morning, so I kind of was forced into it. Ugh. Tribute to Scorpions from George Lynch, which, I mean, Scorpions are kind of on a high right now because they just put out this one, which I think I showed, Rock Believer. Some people are saying, hey, if you like 80s Scorpions, that's for you. Okay, Graham Parker's Another Gray Area, a reissued remaster CD, 40th anniversary. Features the hits Temporary Beauty and You Hit the Spot, 5 bonus tracks, including B-sides, remixes, live cuts, digitally remastered, new liner notes. And Daryl Hall. This is before after. 2-disc set includes highlights from his 5 studio albums and his groundbreaking Live at Daryl's House series, which is kind of cool. I was just looking at the back here. It's got Here Comes the Rain Again with Dave Stewart of Eurythmics. They've done some work together. I think Dave actually produced one of his solo albums. North Star with Monty Montgomery. What else? Can We Still Be Friends with Todd Rundgren. Yeah, you can check out the track listing online. I don't want to waste your time too much more. There actually have been a couple of Hall & Oates reissues too. There was the Live at the Troubadour that came out on vinyl recently. Been very popular. That's 19 tracks on 3 LPs. And the other one that just came out was Marigold Sky, which is their 90s album. Never been on vinyl before until now. So that's pretty cool. Promise Ain't Enough was, I think, the single. That was a pretty good song. All right. What else is there to say? I've got your attention now. You've been watching this long. Okay, so next week, April 8th, big week. Big week. We have Jack White, Father John Misty, and the Tool box set on vinyl. The last album, Fear Inoculum. Now, remember I asked, if you want Tool, let me know. I don't think we're going to get a ton of them. We're going to get some. We'll probably get enough to cover pre-orders and then some others. And I want to have enough so that when Record Store Day comes around later in the month, that if there are people in the store, there'll be some around for that. But I don't know. There may only be one pressing of this. I really don't know. I mean, it's Tool. So another band, Wet Leg, is getting a lot of buzz. That comes out then. There's also a Tame Impala deluxe edition of the Slow Rush on vinyl, their last album. And so next week is a pretty big week. April 15th, maybe a little bit less, I think. There's Kurt Weill has a new record. And then the following week, April 22nd, kind of a big week because we have Fontaine's DC, Bonnie Raitt, Spiritualized, and basically Record Store Day. It's all that weekend. So and there's a ton of stuff coming out then. So, start making your plans. It's gonna be a crazy month, I think. So, Thank you guys so much. Thanks for being so supportive. This winter has been strange, interesting. I'm going to try and come up with a list of my favorite albums so far this year. The first 3 months. I mean, sort of, I kind of do that usually just for my own mental well being. But it's been a strange year so far because I feel like business, while it was going up, up, up in 2021, it's sort of plateauing again here in 2022. I think a lot of people have turntables. We had Omicron to deal with. We had gas prices and inflation just was going on, and then a war started in Ukraine. So there's been a lot of things, and it's been kind of hammering at people's bottom line with prices going up, and people sort of also getting back into their regular routines. I feel like maybe during the pandemic they had a little more um, expendable time to just kind of get into things and find hobbies and do things. And it would be rather unfortunate to see us sort of go back to, I don't know, again, this is another question, crossing the Rubicon. Can you really go back to the way it was? I don't think it'll ever necessarily go back, but it has been a moment here the last couple months to sort of pause, take stock, and see that the world is still full of a lot of issues that we're dealing with, and we're still dealing with supply chain issues. I mean, there's a lot of records that I could be selling that I just can't get. I think I have one Mac Miller record in the store right now, and he was probably one of our biggest sellers last year. So what happens is then kids or a certain demographic don't come by as often because they're looking for an artist that they can't find anywhere anyway. So, yeah, I'm just sort of rambling right now, but basically what I'm saying is, thank you so much for all the support you've given so far. And it's going to be, I think we're in another sort of strange transitional period, trying to find our footing and find what our normal is or our new normal, because it can't be chaos and that sort of like intense thing all the time. So yeah, all right, but I think the weather's getting nicer, and that a lot of things can change. So anyway, I sound like I'm complaining. I'm really not. I actually like had a really decent month. So here that we're end of March, but anyway, thank you all so much, and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you next week with some updates and some really cool stuff. I hope I have that toolbox to sell you, show you. I'm definitely going to be showing that. So, all right, take care. Peace.